Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. I can't believe that it is the 14th of January already. The month's half done. I'd like to introduce you to the wonderful world of color today. And today I'm going to show you the pigment sprinkles. They're found on page 179 of the annual catalog, and they're right down here in the corner. And if you have a smartphone, if you click on this there's a little arrow right there on the page, it'll show you a video. But you have to have one of those fancy dancy smartphones. And I am just not technically savvy to all that stuff yet, but you people probably are. Anyway, enough of that. These are the sprinkles. They're $23, and we get a lot of bang for your buck. Okay, I'll put this away for now. You get 6 colors, and they make wonderful, fun backgrounds. This is what the daffodil looks like, and that's the grape, Bermuda. There's more grape. This was a combination, I believe, of the Mango Melody and yellow. Here's more grape. This is Bermuda Bay, more grape, more Granny Apple. This is one that I did a lot of yellow, and then I cut a semicircle and put over it, and then I sprinkled more orange around it and added a dye. This is one that I just splopped a lot of color on there in different places, and after it dried, I'm going to put this on here and make a card. Doesn't that make a nice background? They're so much fun. So much fun. And here's one I did with a lot of color with the girls swinging. This is one of my favorite sets. So let's get started to the wonderful world of color. You are going to get your hands yucky. If you don't like getting your hands yucky, you can wear rubber gloves. There are several ways to do. I'm going to dump my guys out here so I know where they are. There's several ways of playing with the pigment sprinkles. These little bottles go a very long way. I have used these, and ooh, what a blurry mess. There it is. I'm sorry for that. I hope I don't get anybody seasick. There's several different ways to use these. You can sprinkle on your paper, and I'm going to try and recreate maybe the sky and the ground. So I'm going to sprinkle. This is watercolor paper. You either want to use watercolor paper or the stronger white paper, shimmer white. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little of the Granny Apple green. And it comes out orange. You think, oh, that's not the right color. What is she doing? So I'm going to put a little green there, and I have to remember how I did this. I think I'm going to use a little of the Bermuda Bay, and they unscrew, and I like to put the tops back on. If these sprinkles fly, you will have color everywhere. So now I'm just going to sprinkle just a little bit of Bermuda Bay. Just a tiny bit. From Bermuda Bay, I'm going to go to the, oh, I think I just did that wrong. Here's the Granny, oh, let's cover up the Granny Apple. There we go. So I got Granny Apple, Bermuda Bay. I'm going to use a little bit of purple here next. This one is really strong, so you just want to tippy tap tap a lot out. Woo, that's a lot. And then we'll go with the mango. So I'm starting out dry on dry. This is dry watercolor paper and the dry pigment sprinkles. You protect your work surface because it will get yucked up. And there's some yellow up there. Daffodil. Okay. That's a lovely mess, isn't it? I'm going to get a rag and put underneath here. I should have done this first. Hopefully I can pick it up with not. Now, there's a couple ways of doing this. You can spritz directly on, or you can spritz at an angle. I think I'm going to go straight down first. And you get a lovely, lovely mess. And if it's a little stronger than what you want, if have no fear, you can just take your paper towel and just blot till you get what you want. And maybe we'll need just a little bit more. Everyone comes out different, and that's part of the fun of it. All right? Go with the big spray bottle. So you can kind of move the color around a bit. If you don't like it, you can go back and spray some more. Oh, that's going to be a pretty one. And I'm just going to lightly dab it. And we'll, oh, I got a little far away. That's all right. It's going to dry real pretty. We'll just set that aside to dry. So that's one way of doing it. You can, so here's a little one. No, I want a bigger one. You can put your sprinkles on. We got some mango here. Ooh, that's a lot. And we'll put, excuse me. I'm going to put some Daffodil Delight up here. And I think that's all I'm going to do. And now I'm just going to take my spray bottle and I'm just going to spray from the side and watch. You can make your spritzes go up that way. And just lightly dab it till you get it how you want it. That's going to be a pretty one too. And if you want a little more in a certain color, in a certain spot, you can just add a little more. Give it another little spritz. And you can just sop it up. They're such fun. They make such fun backgrounds. Okay. Now you can also wet it first. Get it good and wet. I'm just going to use my paper here. I don't like my whole desk to be colors. Now you can just sprinkle it on. That's good and wet. I don't know if you can see all the water on there, but there's lots and lots of water on there. And you can just sprinkle them on and let them just spread out that way. If you need to direct it. You can add more colors. And just let the water do what it wants to do. See how the water just makes it. If you could see my desk over here where I sprayed, I've got sprinkles all over. I should have put a paper up there too. I'm going to have a desk calendar that's all there. We'll just take our paper towel and just kind of dab up the excess. Or leave it to dry. You can also blow dry it. When you blow dry it, you blow the water around. I don't know if you can see how that moves the water. Ta-da! There's another fun way of doing it. And you got that old spray starch laying around. Who irons anymore, let alone starches? So this is just spray starch. I think I got it at the dollar store because Lord knows I didn't have any in the house. And I'm just going to put that on the paper. And it makes a fun background. Let's put a little granny apple at the bottom. And some blueberry. This is kind of like instant gratification. A little blueberry right there. Whoa! See? It goes fast. And where's my purple? Purple is really overpowering, and so can the Bermuda Baby. Woo, that's quite what I had in mind. All right, let me get my handy dandy blobber upper. I have paper towels nearby. You will go through some paper towel. I'm just going to try and see what happens if I... Ooh, pretty. All shiny. I'm just going to let it soak up a little. Ooh, pretty mess. I don't know if you can see, I've got little, kind of heavy in there. Yeah. And that'll dry real pretty. So we'll just set that aside to dry. You have so much fun with sprinkles. So much fun. Okay, that's my garbage down there. And I have a messy desktop again. Since when do I not? Now you can, I don't know if you can see, this is probably a bad example, but just the shadow of her. Let's take, I've got another one here. This was done a long time ago, and I'm going to take, oh gosh, you know what? I'm going to do something else first. I'm going to do this one. See how ugly this is? Let's see if we can't make it pretty. I'm going to find my Stamparatus. My Stamparatus is a stamping positioner tool that I just love, and I just stuck my finger in purple. And I put it right where I know where it was, and of course I sat down. How many of you can sit down and lose? I'm going to show you how I did this card. So you can be looking at that. Well, I see where I did. I covered it up. That's why I can't find it. This is my Stamparatus. These come off. You can put one here. They'd come with 2 plates. So I've already put my girl there. So I'm going to show you how I did this. I'll take my girl off. And I'm going to put this here. And I like to put them more towards the open edge because the farther away you are from the hinge, the better the stamp is. Okay. Now and here's a tree. I just happen to have a tree that I cut out earlier. It's from a scrap. We'll put that there. And I'm going to want her to be right about there. You think that's a good spot for her? Yeah, I do too. So now I've put my stamp down, sticky side up, and I'm going to put her there. The reason I'm using my Stamparatus for her is this is watercolor paper. And when you're going to heat emboss on watercolor paper, it's a rough texture. And this helps me get it into all the right places. So I'm going to stamp her and give her a good press. And now I can re-stamp, and it'll go right in the same spot. That's what's so wonderful about these Stamparatuses. If you don't get it right the first time, you can go right back over it. And maybe I'll go 3rd time's the charm, right? Most of the time. Okay. I should have used my embossing buddy. I always forget to use that little critter. It just helps with the static. So we have her there. Let's take her out of the Stamparatus. We'll move the Stamparatus over here. I have a piece of scrap paper. And we'll use some shimmery black embossing powder. And I'll just go over this real good. This is our new embossing powder. Now, see, this is why I should have used my embossing buddy to get all these extra little flicks, because as soon as you hit it with the heat gun. All right, I'm going to go off camera to cook it because I don't want embossing powder going everywhere. You're going to hear the whirl. Maybe I can. Well, wouldn't you know, that's a good time for you to come unplugged. Okie dokie. Technical difficulties. Once again. Oh. Okay, so now let's see if you just want to emboss it right until it gets wet. And I'll show you a little trick. While it's still warm, take your embossing powder and go over it again. And just, you don't have to do it that many times. It's just as on watercolor paper. Ooh, you can really see it shine there. So that's how I did that. Let me get this taken care of before I have embossing powder all over everything. So then I can come in and trim it, put my tree on there. See, she's all ready to go for a card. Trim it down and make a nice little card. And the backgrounds all come out different. I just love these. Okie dokie. Was going to show you something else. I don't know what it was. Yeah, and here's that one. And that's how I did this one. Oh, I know what I was going to show you. So I've already embossed her in clear embossing powder. I'm going to take the Bermuda Bay. I think it might work on the Bermuda Bay. And I'm going to take my lady and I'm going to put her on the Bermuda Bay right about there. Because maybe I can do something with this. But this is just a technique to show you. Get that up there. Give that a good press onto there. Take our embossing powder, our Versamark pad, stamp it. I'm going to stamp it again just because this is watercolor paper and it gets, okay, let's cover up when you have your sprinkles, if you don't cover up your Versamark pad, these sprinkles tend to fly. And you will have a really pretty colored Versamark pad if you do that. So let's take that out. So let's bring back our little paper here. Let's emboss it this time with some clear embossing powder. And again, I should have used the embossing powder. Embossing buddy, whatever. Okay. There we go. Now let's just pour this back in here before we have an accident. In case you haven't figured it out, I can be very accident prone. All right, now we're going to fluff her up here. And you want to just wait until, see how that's, you know, when it's cooked. And again, you need a heat gun, not a hairdryer. Okay. So now that we've embossed her, I'm going to give it a second to cool. And I'm going to get some more paper towel out. Don't be stingy with your paper towels. I'm going to put that on here, and I'm going to find and I'm just going to spritz around her. And the more you lift off the color, the darker she will get. I don't know if you can see the shadow there or not. Much pretty, or you can even just take and daub right around the image you want. so that the others remain dark, but the embossing powder resists the water, and it stays the color it was underneath. So you can do a shadow with her. How cool is that? That was just with the white, I'm sorry, the clear embossing powder. That was pretty cool, huh? That shows up much better than this one. Let's try doing this one again. This was real red when I started out. And I don't know if you can see her there or not. Okay, so that is embossing powder. Okay. There we have it. Oh, you really can't see that one too well. And I do apologize. My camera just doesn't show good color, but I really like the way this one came out. So these are the handy dandy sprinkles. They make some wonderful fun backgrounds. With any of your die cuts on top. Here's the one we just did. We put her on there. And you thought this was a really ugly piece of paper until we put the tree on there, and all of a sudden it's not so bad. And this, of course, is my favorite. The die sets that I've used today, the cattails come from the bundle A Friend Like You, and you get the stamp set and these dies. Here's my other one. It's over here in my Big Shot. So whatever die system, cutting system you use. So there's the dies you get with that one. And the coordinating dies that go with See a Silhouette. You get the tree. And you get, I like to keep my dies with the stamp set. That way I know where they are. You get the tree. You get one that says Inspire. You get one that says Forever. You get one that says Adventure. And that would be good for a scrapbook page. And then you get the dandelion. So that's what I have for you today. I'll be back a little later to show you something else. Anything you think you might want to see, drop me a note and let me know. That's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, give me a call. If you want me to do it again, I will. Okay, bye-bye.